Hey guys, how's it going? So, there's this thing that happened a few days ago that I definitely wanted to make a video on. Not only because it's funny on its own, but also because I called it in one of my first videos. I've mentioned that this kind of thing would happen often here and there, and this definitely is not the first time that it did either, but I really hope that it keeps happening more and more in the future. For context, what's going on is that a gaming Discord server centered on girl gamers across various games like Valorant, Fortnite, etc. was, and as far as I know, is still organizing a girls-only Valorant tournament. Which is a bit of a redundancy, right? Because, I mean, it's Valorant. Everybody knows guys don't play that game. So, as I was saying, there's some girls organizing a girls-only Valorant tournament. They made an announcement poster for it, detailing the date and the reward for winning, so on and so forth. But then, of course, the obligatory question had to pop up, asking if this is inclusive of trans girls too. Surprisingly, the organizers actually answered that no, it doesn't include them, and it is strictly for quote-unquote girls only. And as you could expect, this has generated another cinematic telenovela online. Of course, as you could expect, the girls-only group that is organizing this event and all of its supporters and people who are participating in it are being called transphobic. But what makes this telenovela even more special is because there's two ideologies clashing against one another. When asked the reason why the tournament was for girls only, the organizers answered that they are Muslim, and so they do not believe that it would be fair for trans people to play in their tournaments. Now, I've only seen this next part as a joke, not as a serious thing, but it is funny how fitting it is even as a joke, which is people calling it Islamophobic for these people who are calling it transphobic to be judging these Muslim girls for setting up rules in accordance to their own culture and religion. Which is true, I mean, if we go by the wokey code of ethics, that's how it works.
John started wearing a dress to be different. You're not different, John. You're just gay.
And that's partly why this has been so amusing to see. I mean, I've been talking about how this whole quote-unquote woke stuff, this DEI ideology nonsense is a self-destructive thing that will inevitably eat itself alive. It's literally upheld by unifying hatred and discrimination of white males. That's the primary target. And as far as the agenda on the board is to, for example, diversify a game development studio or a roster of characters for an upcoming game or TV show like Rings of Power, for example, by making sure that there's less white males and more of everything else in it, then it's all good, brother. The wheels of wokeness turn smoothly, nothing clashes, everything works, because they got that one target that just works for everybody. But as soon as you remove the white males from the equation, everything falls apart, because their inner ideals not only clash against one another, but also the entire ideology relies on an easy and acceptable target to demonize. If that target is gone, or a situation arises where they're not involved, the whole thing crumbles like a house of cards. It doesn't know how to exist, because it's purely driven by narcissism. Here's a clip from a video of mine from 2024. Let's have a listen to Little Dez and his terrible dollar store microphone from the early days.
Because DEI is like a lens for the world. A normal person judges another person based off of the contents of their character. A person seeing the world through a DEI lens judges them based on their value, and they attribute this value based on how much worth there is in their race, their gender, their sexuality, their religion, their background, their history, and even their physical state too. This is why everyone is shitting on white people nowadays. Through the DEI lens, white people are in last place. Hell, through the DEI lens, some people even consider white people as the source of all of their problems in the world. This is what DEI is all about. It's an utterly regressive concept with no value. Even if tomorrow all the white people in the world got on a spaceship and left to go live in a space colony, all of these DEI freaks would just find another group to blame all their problems on and call privileged. There is no end goal with DEI. There is no point where these initiatives just close down and go, okay guys, we did it, we achieved our diversity goals, time to shut down the division. No sir, they're in it for the long haul. At the end of the road of DEI, there is only more DEI, as people pit themselves against one another in oppression Olympics to find out which of them are the least privileged that should be catered to, and which of them are the most privileged that should shut the fuck up. So yeah, I'm sorry guys, but anytime a company's
There it is. And if you're listening to that and hearing my voice now and going, what, did you buy the fucking pirate software microphone? The answer is no. I mean, I did buy a way better microphone because that literally was a dollar store one. But I'm also sick currently, so there you go. But anyway, let's get back to business. One of the reasons why I'm bringing up clashing ideologies isn't just because of how women and trans women will inevitably clash, which we'll get to in a second. It's also because apparently this Discord server is based in Tunisia. So for all my geographically challenged friends out there in the comment section, that's in North Africa. And oh, look at that! Apparently the vast majority of the population in this country identify as Muslim. And you know what Muslims aren't all that into? That's right. Transgender ideology.
Oh no! Oh no!
Big surprise, I know guys. And the funny thing about this whole DEI nonsense over the last few years has been that ideologically it abhors conservatism with a passion. But then the little wokies who support it, who uphold all minority groups without even thinking, don't even realize that as they pander to Muslim people, they are catering to a religion and culture that is even more conservative than your average Christian, Republican, or moderate voter in America or Europe, which they love to demonize. But there's, not all Muslim people are the same and think the same and have the same adherence to the strict tenets of the religion or the culture. I understand that, fellas, but they don't care. Like, what are we talking about? Not all white people are the same either. Not all Christian people feel the same way when it comes to gay people, for example. But the wokies don't care about that. They still despise white heterocentric stuff. And also, let's face it, and not forget it for a second, when it comes to, like, in general, white Western countries are far more progressive than African or Middle Eastern Muslim ones. By a landslide. It's not even comparable, it's not even in the same orbit. So basically we have a classic situation here of this woke retardation imploding in on itself. I have a lot of posts to show you guys where we can explore more of this in response to utter lunatics on display, but give me 1 minute first to address the woman part of the issue. Because even if we were to remove the fact that these event organizers are from Tunisia, I think any group of female gamers from any country and any background would have the right to come out and make an event that is specifically just for them without having to suffer through a storm of online harassment. This kind of thing always happens whenever there's an issue involving the trans community, and it honestly only makes things worse for them. This particular community has a serious problem with radicals and extremists that they don't do enough to call out and separate themselves from. It ends up creating way more problems than solutions. Remember the Hogwarts Legacy drama? Like, holy hell, dude. Whenever this kind of thing happens, this kind of drama, it almost always comes down or involves the word inclusion. As if these things have to be done for inclusivity's sake. This is something I've also been calling out and breaking apart since my 3rd or 4th video here. It was this one from September 2024. It was before the launch of Dragon Age Veilguard. All this crap about inclusivity is always a lie, never forget that. It's actually more so about narcissism and exclusion of others. What that meant in the context of the Veilguard video was that BioWare defended their decision of trans scars in the character creator, despite it not making sense within the lore of the game where blood magic and body morphing already existed and could transition a person by their own terms without recurring to, what, human surgery? What the fuck? I'm not even going to touch back on that. I already talked about that back then, I don't want to go into it again. The point is that these things were put in the game by citing inclusivity for more people, so that more people could see themselves. So if the goal was inclusion of more people, so more people around the world could make characters that reflected themselves.
Reflection of myself. I'm black and I'm gay. And when you grow up African American, yeah, you're taught there's a different set of rules that you're gonna.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Reflection. Your contribution has been much appreciated.
Then that would imply less limits in a character creator and more options. But what we got was actually the opposite. If you are, for example, a bodacious woman, God bless, by the way, then that means that you cannot create a character that looks even remotely like you. You actually don't even have to be a bodacious woman. Like, if you take a look at the sliders, the body sliders for, you know, the breasts, the booty, and the waist, it's ridiculous. You can max that thing out and you can barely see a difference. So really the motive wasn't to include people and things, it was about excluding people and things that are ideologically problematic for them, such as curvy and voluptuous feminine bodies. And what this means in the context of things like this tournament is that if there's ever some kind of event for women only, even if there's far more biological women in the world than the minority of trans people out there, even if you, just for once, for whatever reason, either it be personal or religious or because of security or just common sense or whatever else, and you just want to have a genuine girl-only environment, the tournament or whatever event it is that you're trying to organize has to have trans women in it. It absolutely has to. Because if it doesn't, then it's transphobic, as it implies that girls only means that they are not girls too. It doesn't matter what it is or where it is from, if you put it online and they catch a whiff of it, this is what's going to happen. It doesn't even matter if you are from a small f***ing gaming Discord server from Tunisia. You could be trying to do a fucking Eskimo party up in the Arctic. You put that online, they're going to come in and ask, well, okay, how many trans Eskimos you got up in that party though? Huh? How many? How? 0? Shut that shit down. Shut it down, boys! Anyway, now let's get into the Crashouts. The discourse around this Valorant event has been packed with posts like this, and I'm going to have to be censoring some of them because nobody is more racist than an unhinged wokey the moment that they don't get what they want. Quote, yeah, female players TN, block me as well, you stupid transphobic ass ninjas. Okay guys, make sure to note that I said ninjas. It might be my second take. I'm not going to say what the first take was. It doesn't matter. What matters is I said ninjas, okay? So anyway, this moron got mad that they blocked him after harassing them as if that was news for anyone on Twitter. Someone replied with a damn good point though. That isn't transphobic. They haven't said that trans girls aren't girls, they just said that trans girls can't play. It's their decision. Quit throwing around transphobic. But the thing is that it doesn't matter for these people, because again, it's not really about inclusion, it's about the erasure or the redefinition of the word woman. Case in point, the next reply. Quote, yeah, let's not act dense. Not allowing trans women to participate because it wouldn't be fair to biological women when it's been proven that your biological gender has nothing to do with your performance is rooted in transphobia because they literally see them as males. Fellas, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not like a marine biologist, right? I don't know these things like for sure, but I'm pretty sure that this shit ain't real. I think this is just a result of another problem that we have in society where we have political activism in branches of science and government, and so what happens is that some of these places will make up political bullshit and present it as fact. Like, it's obvious that men and women do have differences, and I'm pretty sure it's not just physical. There's things related to reaction time, there's things related to temperament, so on and so forth, so it does matter. You could argue that since it's just some Tunisian Discord servers tournament, not even a real official thing sponsored by Riot Games, then it doesn't matter and it doesn't have to be taken that seriously, and they could just, you know, include biological dudes as well, and you know, maybe make it mixed, you know, everybody gets to get in, everybody gets to have a party. But what if you just don't want to, you know? At the end of the day, what if a group of girls just wants to hang out with a bunch of other girls and play some Valorant? Like, why does there have to be a whole big situation about this when it's just an independent group of girls with an independent Discord server organizing their own independent thing? Like, if I was these girls right now, I would be feeling like Walter White in that scene. I'll just play it.
What I need is for you to climb down out of my ass. Can you do that?
You know what I mean? Like, can you just stop? This is actually the same shit we suffer from on our big gaming franchises that were mostly made to cater to a male-dominated audience, and now we're having that shit taken away from us because it's been deemed that if you aren't visibly representing female or LGBTQ, NVIDIA, RTX, DLSS 5 enabled plus people through pandering, then it's bigoted. It's the exact same concept, except it's hitting women now. And you know, part of me kinda wants to be petty and kinda just be like, yeah, go ahead, reap the shit that you've helped sow. Because God knows, we can go back like 10-15 years ago and link so much of what's happening right now to feminist groups in gaming like Anita Sarkeesian and Feminist Frequency. But then, at the same time, you know, it's like, do you want to be part of the problem or do you want to be part of the solution? You know, do you want to be fair and realistic or do you want to be petty? And at the end of the day, the biggest part of me just wants to be fair and realistic and get this regressive ideological shit out of our entertainment. But it is funny though, it is a bit funny, like, you know, you girls, you're catching it too now, you know, you're finally understanding. This next one is one of my favorites though. Quote, they are hiding behind their religion when it does not excuse them being bigots. On top of that, they also said they are a bunch of teenage girls with no money. So this entire tournament is a scam to begin with, because they can't even pay the 5k Valorant points. And then they have this screenshot, which is a whole side problem within all of this drama too, which is AI was used to make the tournament poster. And these people just totally lose their composure because they have AI derangement syndrome, like all the way to the max, to the point where a group of Tunisian girls have to commission an artist to make a poster, otherwise they get shit on, such as what's happening right now. One of the girls from the event even said that they don't have money for that. They live in Tunisia, you know. Let's go on Google Earth real fast, real quick. Let's have a look at Tunisia. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay. I see what's going on. Oh my god. I'm sorry, by the way, guys. I'm on the mend, like I'm way better than I was a couple of days ago. It's just my throat, you know. I had a cough. I had a lot of what is it called in English? Gunk. I don't know. I had a lot of garbage in the bronchial location.
I'm a physician.
And, you know, it's still clearing up, and that's why I sound like Joey Diaz, basically.
There ain't nothing. You go to Netflix, there ain't no Cubans playing GT. You go for all of them. Fuck them.
Anyway, let's move on. So, because this genuinely is my favorite part of all of this. It's that you'd think these progressives would understand and would be like, okay, well, you know, they live in a struggling country. Clearly, they don't have the amenities that we do. So let them go ahead and use an AI poster, whatever. But that's where you're wrong, bucko. Because over here at Wokeology Central, there is zero excuse for using AI. What's that? You're poor? You live in one of those struggling nations? Too bad. Get a job. This is what I love so much about these goofy people, man. Their whole thing just falls apart. As soon as you don't have money, and you use whatever alternative methods you have available to you to create something appealing for an event or whatever of yours or your friends, they turn into the ultimate chud. But it's also funny how inconsistent it is, because let's say that you don't have any money, but you steal. That's something they're fine with. They're totally fine with stealing. If you say that, man, you know, I ain't got no money, so, you know, I went to Walmart and I stole like $900 worth of groceries, and then I went home because I heard it on the internet that if you steal only 900 and you don't get to 1,000, then, you know, they let you go because it's a misdemeanor and that's not illegal or whatever the fuck, you know, whatever the fuck crazy shit's going on in America. You know, that's what I did, fella. You know, all this bullshit. They'll cheer it on. They'll be like, hell yeah. You know, it is what it is. You know, some people, they are victims of society, and this is a good thing, actually. But if you use AI, which is you not stealing, it's you just trying to do something yourself with a tool, then you are a problem. And now put this into perspective with a drawing. This is retarded, but I'm going to say it anyway. They would prefer it if you held someone hostage like an artist and you told them, hey, listen here, you son of a bitch. You ain't seeing the light of day until you make me a poster for Valorant. I live in Tunisia. I don't have any money. This is the way it is. They would actually be like, well, you know, it's justified. You know, I mean, we don't understand them. We don't understand the culture there. You don't understand the struggle that these people go through every day. So, you know, it's not ideal that they did what they did. But, you know, at the same time, we have to understand them. We cannot judge them. We don't understand. We do not get to judge them because we are privileged in comparison to them. But as soon as they're like, oh yeah, I used AI to make this poster since it's what I had available to me, that is like, oh, shut them down, boys. They're making an Eskimo event. They don't have any trans Eskimos and they're using AI. You know, in the last video, I was discussing like crazy things within gaming and writing and etc. And I posed Chad a question. You know, I asked, hey fellas, you know, is this like insanely stupid or did someone spike my cough syrup? And now I'm pretty goddamn sure that someone definitely spiked my cough syrup because this is fucking, I don't believe, back to back retardation like this. But anyway, with that context, let's just read the other reply again. They're hiding behind their religion when it does not excuse them being bigots. On top of that, they also said that they're a bunch of teenage girls with no money, so this entire tournament is a scam to begin with because they can't even pay the 5k Valorant points.
What are you, fucking stupid?
Do these people not know what religion is, my brother? It's a group of ideas, and it's a serious one. Like, they're not ideas in the sense of, oh, I'll have steak for dinner, and then later you change your mind and you have pizza instead. Like, there are beliefs and convictions rooted in these ideas, so you can bet your sweet ass that it is ripe for bigotry if your idea of bigotry is someone believing something that you don't. Some religions wear hats, some religions say wearing hats is disrespectful, so there you go. They're both being bigots to each other. It's really funny because wokies will fight for Muslim representation, but the moment that the Muslims do or say some actually Muslim stuff, they immediately change their minds and backtrack like, nah, now wait a minute, wait a second, we advocated and voted for you to come into our countries and be part of our societies, but that doesn't mean that you get to just be yourselves and express your beliefs, okay? You have to renounce them and be just like me, only say and do things that I agree with, otherwise, get out. You don't deserve to be in this space. And when you look at it that way, it seems that these wokies really aren't that different from the right-wingers they love to demonize, huh? Also in relation to money, has it ever occurred to these people that maybe, I don't know, just maybe, they scrounge together around $50 worth of Valorant points to make sure that the winners of the tournaments have something to play for? And it just so happens that they don't have any more money beyond that waste on some artist that might or might not even get the poster to look right, because that's the other problem. If you go out there and you try to commission an artist and you're broke, so you're only going to spend a little bit of money, chances are the AI poster is going to end up looking better. Doesn't it even cross their minds that sometimes little community events like these could even get Valorant points from the company? Like, I've been a part of gaming communities before, and sometimes we'd organize events for fans like drawing contests or virtual photography stuff, and for one of them, we managed to get the studio to pitch in with a reward of their own. I don't know if it was like signed merch or something, I can't really remember, but it's probably not uncommon. After all, these are the kinds of things that kind of keep a community alive and going. And Riot Games does seem to know a thing or two about that. Fat chance of that happening now though. I mean, these people are already attacking Riot Games as it is for allowing a random Discord server from Africa to organize a transphobic event even though it has nothing to do with Riot Games at all. You know, it's that classic, oh, you condone this? Oh, you allowed this? Oh, hey, do your higher-ups know? Do your investors know that you sponsor transphobia? Do they? Oh, they don't. Oh, they don't. Oh, well, be ashamed if somebody told them, you know? Be ashamed if a cancel party happened on social media, you know? be ashamed if somebody let them know what's going on in your game, you know. Did they know that? Did they know that Booty Hunter 5000 drew a PP on a wall with his rifle? Huh? You know that? You're gonna condone that? You're not going to ban them? You're just going to let that?
Will you please, just once, get off my ass? You know, I'd appreciate it. I really would.
Also, they're genuinely not bigoted. Like, let's go back to the original post for a second and have a look at what went down there. They announced the tournament. A user pops up and asks if trans women will be allowed to participate. One of the organizers says sorry, but no. Wanna know what a bigot would say? She'd say this.
No, we're not doing that. You're getting called a slur. I don't know which one. Whichever one I feel like saying at the moment. You're getting called a slur.
Then the same user asks, may I know why? And another organizer inquires further, wanting to know more, to figure out whether it's a man transitioning to a woman or vice versa. Plus, sorry for the weird question. The user responds, MTF, male to female. And the organizer answers with, I'm sorry cutie, but we don't. The reason is that we are Muslim and we think that it's not fair to let transgenders play our tournaments. Sad face. Brother, in what planet are they being bigoted when they let this user down so softly? Like, first, the question even implies that maybe, if it was the other way around, from female to male, they might let them play. But regardless of that, in what planet is someone transphobic when they call a trans person cutie? Like, again, dude, this is why nobody likes these extremists. You can have the most reasonable person on the planet coming to you in the nicest way possible, acknowledging your existence as a trans person, respecting your pronouns, not even having anything against that side of you, and calling you a cutie. Not even kicking anyone out of the Discord server either. Like, she could have kicked her out like, oh, red alert! We found an intruder! No, nothing went down, everything is fine. She even allows her to be in the Discord server regardless, but the moment that you say no to one thing, it's over. And now there's a slew of shit being thrown at these girls online, and the funniest thing is that these are the live threats that nobody talks about either. Oh, everyone always talks about it the other way around, like something menial happens, for example, people laughing at the Black Snape casting in the new Harry Potter show, and oh my goodness, oh gracious Christ, oh my lord, the bigots are out and about, you know, they're sending live threats to the actor, this cannot be. But as soon as an unhinged mass of radical trans activists and their supporters online target girls in the Discord server, some of which are minors, with even more open hatred and slurs, suddenly it's not news. Legacy media outlets don't bother to cover this. You know, I guess it's inconvenient, huh? There's also another aspect to this, which is apparently Asmongold covered this situation in his own stream, and what that did was, it basically evened the odds a little bit. Because of course, when that whole thing happened in the Discord server where they said no, it didn't stay there. The shitstorm followed onto social media, and so there was a bunch of these usual unhinged suspects attacking this tournament and this group. And thanks to Asmongold's coverage, the situation got boosted, and now they've been getting more support from other people who agree with the position that there's nothing wrong with girls organizing a girls-only event. They even wrote in their most recent post addressing the backlash the following line. Quote, special thanks to Asmongold taking the time to discuss the topic in a more balanced manner with some fair points and bringing a more balanced perspective to our situation. I haven't watched his video on the matter, but I'd say I can guess that what he said wasn't anything crazy, like love him or hate him, when it comes to matters like these, Asmongold tends to be a reasonable guy. Hell, sometimes he doesn't even say much of anything, sometimes he just states the obvious, right? Like, he'll just go, yeah, and so anyway, the reason why is because this is why. And that's it, you know, and everybody's just like, you know, the emojis, you know, like bald, you know, stuff like that, and there you go. Gets clipped, Yeet posts it as like, oh my god, Asmongold said the sky is fucking blue. And everybody swarms Yeet's post and just go, oh my god, I can't believe you would say this. This is clear proof that Asmongold is pandering to the alt-right. And so of course that's exactly what happened with this situation, where they're just mad as hell that he even said anything at all. Like, take a look at this. Quote, "Special thanks to Asmongold, I am now 90% sure that no woman was ever involved in organizing this event. Probably some grown overweight man." So they're proving they're not bigots by thanking Asmongold. Space for women, but they're thanking Asmongold. Streaming on a platform of incels, only interacting with men and transphobes and ignoring all women, calling them out. What are you guys drinking? Piss? There's even more of these comments, man. There's a slew of them, like a whole chunk of this drama then just became about Asmongold. There's far worse comments in there too. These are the ones that I chose so that YouTube doesn't nuke me for covering a no-no situation. These people are basically just totally out there. The delusional level is insane. They believe that everyone who doesn't agree with their radical position is a bigot. Like, they genuinely believe that it's perfectly acceptable and a sensitive position to basically turn to women and say something along the lines of this: "No, you cannot have your own event, you will include trans women or your event should get cancelled and we will harass you until the ends of the earth to get it done." Yeah, by the way, if any one of you is watching this video right now, that's how you sound. They also genuinely believe that Asmongold is some sort of like super bigot, and so it doesn't make sense for women to agree with him even though clearly he's defending their most basic right now. This is the thing they don't get about all of us when it comes to this kind of discussion. They think that we're all anti-women. Like, when we complain or fight against this ideological poison in our games industry that is anti-male, they think that we just hate women, but no. Like, we just like the natural order of things, and we hate activists corrupting that. If I make a new IP called I don't know, Protocol X, and it's all about elite warriors defeating alien hordes or whatever, and the whole thing is inherently dude-coded with glory kills, some gore, a cast that is overwhelmingly male, especially when it comes to going to battle, with female characters playing a different kind of role, like maybe they could be Oracle-coded characters where they got magic, healing, and intuition, while men have brawn and violence, and now all of a sudden some punk-ass activist wants to come in and destroy it because they see that as bigoted because, oh no, it's sexist if women aren't in a position of going into battle with heavy armor slaying the aliens, and it's misogynistic if the women look attractive because that's objectification, and it's bigoted because there's only two genders represented and there's no trans or non-binary representation visible anywhere, then hell yeah, of course we're against these activists and we want them to get out of our hobby. If you don't like it, just get out. None of this is inherently against women, it's against spoil sports. It's against soy boys. But these morons can't even grasp that, and so in their mind, if they see Asmongold lamenting the pussified state of World of Warcraft in 2026, then that can only mean that he hates women. They also call him a racist with zero foundation. Meanwhile, he just took the time out of his day to, and please listen carefully to this next part, right? Because they're calling this guy a racist and a misogynist, because he took time out of his day to advocate for a group of Muslim women from goddamn Tunisia to be able to host a female-only event where men are not allowed. I mean, shit, fellas, if he's supposed to be either of those things, he's genuinely terrible at it. The last remark was also very funny. All the women calling you out and you're not listening. Are these women in the room with us now? Because every other post that I see shitting on this tournament has a bunch of goddamn pronouns and flags listed in their bio. And what I actually saw the most of was women in the comments and in retweets supporting this, praising them for making a female-only event and sticking to their guns. But yeah, well, let me guess, these women don't count because they're bigots, right? So basically only you and your opinions are valid. Gotcha, totally forgot about that, my bad. Let's move on, one last one for the road, fellas. Quote, "Trans rights are human rights." Literally no rights were transgressed in this entire thing. It's not a human right to enter a tournament. It's not a human right to be given access to opposite gender spaces. And not only are there trans-inclusive female divisions in esports, it's actually the most common thing. That's what's even more hilarious. It's that, in general, when it comes to official events, it works the other way around. They let in trans players, and when they do, it can even overwhelm. Where teams that are supposed to be for women, like for example take this video. It shows this initiative thing called LCS Game Changers, showcasing a female division for female players or of a marginalized gender. So basically there you go. Once again, a female division is not allowed to just be a female division. It has to be an umbrella for everything else. And what happens sometimes in teams like these is that they end up being mostly trans. This one female team is composed of one biological woman. The rest identify as that other category, the marginalized gender. So at the end of the day, what does this result in? Well, it results in the erasure of women from these spaces. Like, even though there's way more female gamers playing these kinds of games than there are trans gamers or non-binary gamers playing these kinds of games, the female gamers are the ones who end up being underrepresented in their own categories. And so can you really be surprised when women are getting kinda sick and tired of this and are starting to speak out and do things like this? Because I certainly get it. Just like I'm also pissed off when there's programs in gaming that offer paid scholarships for game development, sponsored by big companies like Ubisoft and CD Projekt Red, but both of them exclude men from joining because, again, activism being at the core of it. The desire to go against a very natural thing that if you take a group of graduates from school who want to pursue game development for their future, the majority of them are going to be dudes. But anyway, forget about it. Not only is there already trans-inclusive female divisions, but as a trans person, you also have the right to organize your own tournament, the same way that these girls did. You can even make it from trans and non-binary, or hell, you can even be like, nah, you know, the non-binaries can create their own. This is going to be fully just a trans Valorant event. Nothing is stopping them from doing it. Literally nothing. Like, it's totally open. But instead of that, they want to be like, nah, we're just going to take yours. And if we can't, then oh, my human rights are being infringed. These aren't human rights. If anything, everyone has the human right to live their life within the confines of the law. Which again means that you can own a computer, you can sign up for Steam or whatever platform, you can download and play Valorant, and you can sign up for Discord or whatever other platform you want, and you can organize whatever event you want. Hell, you even have the full right and competency to use AI to create a poster. Although we all know that's the one line, you know, you gotta be careful with that line. You do that and it's over, you know, your woke card gets revoked. These are what human rights are, you dumb f***. The right to live your life in this world. However, that doesn't entitle you to be included in your goddamn neighbor's birthday party or whatever, okay? It's not a human right for me to play in the Barcelona Football Club and make $40 million per season. And it's not a human right for you to be included in some random Valorant Tunisian fucking Pvtmarcos tournament for 5,000 Valorant points, which are more like 1,000 because it's 1,000 per each player. But anyway, that's it for this video. It's already way too long. Like, this is just so cucked, dude. Like, oh my god. Some people, dude, it's just so boring and performative. Like, oh my goodness, your girl-only event is bigoted. Oh my goodness, you thanked Asmongold for speaking out. Oh my goodness, you used AI for a stupid-ass picture instead of commissioning someone for extra costs. Oh my goodness, you're streaming on Kick. Like, do these people ever just shut the and just live? Is there anything in this life that you don't gotta complain about? Bet money, if this was a bigger sort of event, you know, backed with way more money, they'd have another list of shit to complain about, like the catering. Oh man, they didn't have sufficient vegan options. Oh man, the seats were too tight and not fit for plus-size people. Oh man, I was seated next to the speakers and they were too loud. This is irresponsible as I suffer from hearing-related disabilities. Oh my goodness, I saw XQC in the VIP booth. I can't believe they would invite this grifter. What about my human rights? Like, just... why did we spend so much time and energy trying to cater to this nonsense? Now look at what we got running around. Insufferable gaggles of Karens. What are we, stupid? Anyway, that's it for me on this one, fellas. Sorry about the pirate software voice and the Joey Diaz wheezing laughter. I'm on the mend though, it'll be fine soon, alright, take it easy. But aside from that, I hope you enjoyed the video, thank you very much for watching, give it a like if you want to help the channel, subscribe if you're new, and have yourselves a great day out there. Take care.